yet, but on YouTube. Facebook takes just a second. He's got a little thing that I'm supposed to play later. Let's see. Oh, I gotta add a title. There we go. That's fine. We got margaritas. Somebody had a great idea to have a margarita Monday. If you need to go get one, feel free. And they take like no effort whatsoever. Just Alan Thomason, better known as Anagram Guy, who is going to take our entire script tonight and anagram it and tell us. So something you've done, like there's been a lot of fringe ideas in the groups, right? Like a lot of people who just sort of go wild, right? And have sort of off the wall ideas. And you're able to do that and willing to talk about your ideas with people, and it's made people sort of accept and respect you in a way. I don't think they're ignored. Yeah. That's been pretty evident recently. Like, yeah.
Sorry, I mean, there's no doubt, like, Trafalgar was something, and Leg Eater is undeniable. And I'm like, well, what kind of triangles can you make? If you got 2 points, you can make a right angle triangle. And I'm like, what's north of the Leg Eater? And I'm like, well, let me just look up here. Like the boat on page 9, look like the little ladder on the side. I'm like, I don't know, maybe. I don't know. It's worth looking around in McGill, and I've never left. I mean, that was it. I mean, I love that. I love that city. I can't wait to get to go visit. The city I'm most sure about is never coming out of the ground if I'm right. I mean, it's not coming out of the ground. They're not going to give you permission.
Which city is that?
No, Montreal.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
McGill
so
University.
that Montreal is the one you're most sure of. Okay. Really weird. You could bypass a lot of problems with universities if you just sort of hit the permission. I feel like Montreal is rooted in compounds, like in elements and whatnot. I bet they could get it dug for you, because like it's one thing when a random person goes to a college and says, "Let me dig a hole," because
people in that particular dell at McGill. I mean, that's where people hang out. That's where the sculpture there. That's my white stone closest. Is the 3 new men called the 3 bears. And so many numbers make sense, found an element. They didn't know it was exactly atomic mass 222. They didn't know that. That was all discovered later, 226 feet apart. And that took me a long time to figure that out, because I had thought maybe it's the shadow of the flagpole. I was like, but I never left that dell. I'm like, it definitely has something to do with the 3 bears. But my spot now, I've not changed it for, I don't know, 6 months. Like, it's definitely, I'm found some new stuff too with prime numbers, and the number it turns out to be is 113, which is a prime number. And it's also the number, like, I make a lot of connections, like, Boston closes on Montreal in the book, and Boston is the 11 image -3 verse, which is 113 if you take out the dash. A lot of little coincidences like that.
Yeah, this connection. It's not mine. It's mine. It's my connection. I'm having really, like, my internet provider screwed something up and I have a really bad upload.
So, yeah, because I'm on my phone for audio, so I don't need the internet for that, but my computer is old. Internet, like, I don't put anything on it anymore.
Yeah.
Like, everything I do with The Secret is on my phone. Everything.
It's the way it is for most people, I've come to find out. Like, people who come visit me, Never. They used to bring stuff, and now they don't. It's just like, here's my phone and 800 tabs that I have saved.
Yeah, like all mine's like my notes to myself. I just message myself in Messenger. I just send it to me,
Oh,
and then I use the search. I use the search function to be like, okay, I remember I had an anagram with headstone, and I'll search headstone and I'll find it.
Okay.
She brought me, I think this is a daiquiri.
Oh, yum. So let me ask you one thing. Chemistry, or well, not chemistry, but elements. Do you have like a scientific background, or?
Well, I'm a pharmacist.
Oh, so yeah, kind of.
That's my science background. I took a lot of science and chemistry classes, and obviously that's all fun. I got to give a shout out to Andrew Cullen. I think that's his name. He had pointed out that radon was discovered at McGill, and I'm like, and I was already had a theory at McGill, and I'm like, that made sense. So then I just really started like looking into that then, and then it just really branched out. And again, anagram. I mean, the theory is, can the book give you an idea if you're really right? I think the book just gives you email or write, Byron, and yep, you were right. It was 113 feet from the grave, or if that was the theory, if that was where it was, you win. He'd still probably want you to dig it up. I don't think he ever really wanted to go back and dig them up.
Yeah. We'll go dig it up later. Like, I really think that was a cop out. Like, if you're right, yeah, we'll give you the jewel, but that thing's gonna stay in the ground. Like, he's not going back to Montreal. Friends in other places.
But I have thought about, contacting, with COVID at McGill right now, like they're letting students back on campus, but they're doing a lot of virtual stuff. So this may just have to wait. But eventually, they have their own little student newspaper. Yeah. It might take off. Someone might, I don't want it. I just want someone to go check it and see if that's where it is. And, I don't want them to dig, because like the one guy that was in the group and he actually worked at dig there. I don't know what the punishment would be, but it would be similar to digging at at the Wright Brothers Monument here. I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
But shout out to Colme if you're watching. I can't see the comments, so.
Oh, there's just a whole bunch of comments about like my connection, really.
He had posted a picture of him and a friend, and his friend was wearing a BEER shirt, which was Atomic Elements, and I'm like, thanks, said sarcasm.
Yeah, he's hosting the first ever Western Canadian. He's hanging out with. It's his first ever secret friend, because he lives like way out in West Canada, and like he doesn't.
Yeah, he's way out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, he gave me his address, and he's way over on the left side, near Alberta
and like
that
up
area
north where Santa lives. Like I looked at it on the map, and it was just white. I was like, nobody can live there.
Pretty place to go visit in Canada. BANFF.
Yeah, I bet it's gorgeous, but I wouldn't want to go. Not at all.
I hate the cold.
Yeah, it'd be too good. Yeah. Well, you're in Texas.
Hey,
so.
Hey, Mia wants me to get my Florida license. She's ready to move to St. Augustine.
That's a pretty city. It's expensive. 25 most cities that are like rising in housing, and one of them, like one of the top 5 was St. Augustine. You can't get like a 3-bedroom house for less than $250,000 right now. That's insane.
$250,000?
Yeah,
$250,000?
$250,000 for like a 2 to 3-bedroom house, and that's a run-down house.
Oh like no, I'd build one.
There are mobile homes out here selling for $250,000.
Yeah, they sell for high now. Yeah. I built this. Here, it's insulated. The lights are really bright, but I got a garage.
Hurricane come into your house. I was like, Jesus, man, do you live at like a school?
We got this loft, a wood shop's right underneath of me. I got the gym; they could stay in there, and then the pool house is really nice. I built that too.
Look, it's Bradley.
Hey.
Hi, Brad.
Go. Oh.
Hey, Brad.
That's it. That's my connection Okay.
But
You,
Bradley's.
hey,
good.
my connection's been going in and out, guys. Sorry. After the storm, I don't know what the deal is.
Yeah. Okay.
Hey, I'm gonna try and connect a different way.
Okay.
I'll try to jump back on.
Okay. Bradley.
If I lose you, I'll dial back in because
No, your connection's perfectly fine.
okay, because we have horrible cell service out here.
Yeah. What's up?
Read a vending machine was gonna bring me one, but hasn't yet.
Okay. I will
Just
tell
get him the
Margaret.
bottle of tequila. That's all he needs, right?
Yeah. You need
This
the
is
bottle.
true.
You can hear, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Good. I will text the margarita vending machine. How's food? Jesus. So
Yeah,
it's
man.
good.
So what subject do you want to talk about?
Really, I have no subject. What I really wanted to ask, like, I think one thing that once I got you on stream, the one thing that I wanted to point out to people was the way that you present your ideas and sort of that, because it's so different than everybody else. Like, I don't know what's different about the way you present your ideas, but they come across differently than most French hunters, and people don't hate you for it. Like, most people, when they're French hunters and they post ideas, they get a lot of hate, and you're sort of welcomed into the community. Everybody loves Anagram guy.
I think
Yeah, I
one
put
thing
my,
about his
my title hashtag at the top.
Yes,
And
hashtag Anagram guy.
I don't even have Twitter, but I put the hashtag up there.
That way we can search.
I think one thing that I really like is I hope you guys like them. What do you think? And not like this
I
is
mean,
the
it wasn't there, so
Yeah.
you definitely can feel really, really good about a theory, and it's no St.
Okay.
Pete's out.
Oh God! Some guy is convinced that the St. Augustine cask is in St. Petersburg, Florida, and called the newspaper and had the St. Pete Times or whatever write a big article about him, putting it in some random field, or random is wrong, and we need to start looking on the west coast of Florida.
I'm never gonna change it. St. Augustine. I got anagrams to St. Augustine.
So do I.
mean,
Saloy. It's a good one.
I'm not changing. Yeah. Right, and that's kind of what made me think that maybe there's more to it than just an acrostic. Maybe there's a little more in depth. Now, some of my anagrams are terrible. Some of them are. Some of them are really good. I mean, they're going to be terrible if they're wrong. So,
I mean, I get
I have
behind
a really
them.
good.
I get behind.
right.
Yeah.
And I
Like the
I
city
heard
I
you
work on
earlier
a lot
say that
right
you have
now
a pharmacy background
is New York.
which is really awesome. I didn't realize that.
What are you looking for? I don't have.
You didn't realize I was a pharmacist?
Somewhere outside.
No, I didn't know that. So that makes a lot of
I think
sense,
they're by the door.
especially with the periodic table and everything.
I took him outside. Sorry, you guys can keep talking. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
You didn't.
Okay.
We talked without you.
Good. I'm not important.
Well, yeah, and again, the whole anagram and the atomic element kind of started at the same time because, I already had a couple of good theories I felt good about a year. And I feel like the code tells you exactly where it's buried. Like it's, you think about how to build an anagram, which I've never done anagrams, don't like puzzles. I solved problems for
Telling about ivermectin.
it's for worms. Like, why are they using that? It doesn't make any sense at all.
Wait, you're saying I shouldn't have taken that earlier?
I don't think it'll hurt you, but
The guy at the farmer supply store said that 2 vials would do me good.
if you got a tapeworm, it's gone.
I went by Tractor Supply and I told them I had a big stud at my house, and they gave me this dewormer.
Yeah.
I used to work with doctors who prescribed ivermectin for something. I forget what it was. Anyway, we shouldn't get.
They use some weird drugs for viruses. Like one of my doctors pointed out in the clinical trials of Tagamet for stomach acid. They don't know what to dose the drug when they're doing trials. So they had given people 10,000 milligrams of Tagamet, right, cimetidate, which is over the counter. And within a week, if they had warts, every wart died on their body. So they didn't really market it for warts, but they know that it has antiviral activity. So there's weird stuff like that. So they give people, they don't give them that. They give them Pepsid when they get COVID. They get Pepsid, a steroid, hydroxychloroquine or ivermectin, which don't make any sense. Hydroxychloroquine is used to treat malaria. That's virus. It ain't like Tamiflu, where you just, here's a pill, it definitely kills it. Take this, you'll be better.
Brando on YouTube wants us to tell him what's going on. We got Alan, Montreal guy. Yes, Alan is periodic Montreal guy. Sunday.
Yeah, I found that anagram this morning. Yep, the one about first one ever that said periodic table. I just want someone to probe the ground and see if I'm right. I would love to be right. I mean, that would be so much fun if I was right.
I just want somebody to find that code in the back that John was talking about, and I feel like if anybody's going to do it, you're going to do it. Because you're already anagram and everything.
I have probed the heck out of Tranquility Park in Houston. I know that.
Yeah. So is that what you're? So you're not in Herman Park.
I'm in some other areas, but and then one day I saw a post and it was talking about, is it Herman? Is it Tranquility? And I'm like, I looked at Tranquility and then one of my friends from Charleston, when I was working on Charleston, said, hey, was being able to see it. And you see the fountains there in Tranquility. And then I thought somehow you could.
Because there aren't many people who are publicly talking about Houston and not talking about Herman Park, right? Wheelhouse's ideas on Herman Park were always pretty cut and dry to me. And they seem backed up. Like, what changed your mind about Herman Park? Because everybody sort of starts there with the 982. Like, what's shifted you to Tranquility Park?
Well, I don't know what shifted me. When I saw the fountains, like, I thought, well, I'm at least let's just explore outside the box. So looked into Tranquility, and I can't remember the thing in that park. And then later on, I realized so many of my spots where you helped me probe right across the street, there's a road triangle. Tranquility, there's big giant triangles. So if anything, it started out as, I started out as road triangle guy, if anything. That seemed to correlate with the triangle on her little sash. I'm like, I don't know, maybe. I don't know if anybody could in the painting. So it's a possibility.
Yeah. I don't know that you could ever take me away from that train.
It's just a math problem because so many of my theories now involve figuring out what's the number.
Yeah.
So 98 minus 2, I don't know if you know my theory. And I've measured this to the moonlight, and there's that one, it's 32 or below, right?
Okay. And
moonlight. And there's a light on that limb of that city. I mean, if he wanted you to, if they were dry set back then, I've put in dry pavers. You can fill them up. Like that, I'm done with that city.
Yeah.
Because I really think I'm right. And I found a lot of anagrams since then about that too.
Isn't there somebody in Houston with a GPR? I don't remember. I think there is.
I don't know. I haven't met them if they are.
I want to say there was a dude in Houston with a GPR, or at least somewhere like his main focus was Houston. I'll have to look.
Yeah, I don't know.
If it's under pavers, that's easy to scan through.
Yeah,
you scan through concrete, it won't really scan through water very well. I mean, it will, but not very well. But anything, it doesn't care.
Well, it'd be easy to Park. I don't think I could get back to Herman Park, and I don't know how to make any measurements. I want an exact foot.
Yeah. And
where was the train located exactly? Where would you measure off the train? How many? I cannot figure out Chicago for the life of me, but I do know my newest idea is that from Lincoln to those lions at the art building, it may not be over the actual halo fence, but I think it's over the next one. And then you figure out, okay, maybe one of the halo fences have something to do with it. But it's not exact, so I don't know. Those guys had a really hard time figuring out where Chicago was. Obviously, they admittedly dug 100 holes or more.
Yeah.
I was 18, 20 feet where it is. And he says it was exactly right here. Okay. I can't figure it out. I can't find an anagram F that it's fluorine and fluorine, which is F, so 18. That's 9 and 9. Maybe it was 18 feet away. I don't know. That would have been my guess. If I was doing this today and it wasn't found, I would dig 18 feet in some direction or at least probe, see if I could get something.
Okay. Just curious.
Yeah.
Not really gonna
but,
hold you to
but
anything, I was
Milwaukee,
just curious.
1886 or 1889? 1889. Same year Adolf Hitler was born, right across the street from a building called Germania, which is the 5th, to the spot, and then 39 to a police thing, and then 97 back, which is the 5th transuranium element. That's what I'm looking at with New York now. Because Milwaukee, you're not going to get that one. There's AstroTurf there. Not coming out anytime soon.
All right. Let's see. Like I feel like we picked a horrible night up, and it'll be buffer free. Like the whole. It was good though. Nope. I'll wait.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
So what city are you working on?
Visit. So I work on.
You're about to go to New York, right? In October?
Yeah. I got a fairly I don't really have a good idea about New York. I've got I mean like a hole that I've found that I really like. And I kind of think sort of in the same way if you and I were talking about Cleveland and we didn't already know the solution, we were just going on what we could find online, there'd be a lot of unanswered questions, but as soon as you went to the cultural garden, all of them would be answered. I kind of feel like New York to me might be the same way. But I haven't been working a whole lot on it. The ones that I focus on seem to be St. Augustine, like San Francisco, Charleston, not so much.
Fine, 2 hours a day, sometimes a little bit more.
Yeah.
Thought to. That post I did about NC Simple Roots, where I anagrammed it. I think I anagrammed it 250 times. Hey, buddy. I don't know. That's a really neat one.
Do you have a program that does this for you?
No.
Oh.
There's that online. I don't know how to say the name. EYL,
Yeah.
EYL apostrophe S anagram solver. It's got a black back Statue of Liberty. Boom. It'll take that out. So now you just have what's left, and it's unlimited. There's so many anagram solvers that are 20 to 30 characters. Otherwise, there's no way to solve them.
Andrew Cullen says Scrabble tiles work great. Like if you just buy a bunch of Scrabble tiles.
It takes a long time. And again, when I find one, I copy it, cut it, text it, I message it to myself so that I'll do a whole day of one, and then I don't know. Sometimes I'll change in the middle of the day. I'll get bored with it. I'll switch off to another one.
Let me see. I wonder how long have we been going? 35 minutes. 7:20.
So I'm in Florida, and I haven't seen an alligator yet. I'm very sad about that. We even saw a sign in a parking lot that said, "Beware, alligator. Do not feed the wildlife." So I made George pull over, and I got out of the car, and I walked over to the little water pond thing that was there behind the sign. And there
You ever seen it?
I can't find alligators in Florida. I don't think I'm going to be able to find a cask.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
I'm going to but yeah, because I think I'm really out of questions. I just really wanted to point out.
I don't even read their posts anymore because of the way they present their theories. And then there's you.
Yeah.
And there's a very good chance you are going to stumble onto something that's going to be game changing. So I'm very excited about your progress, and I want it to continue.
Simon,
I can't wait.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I can't wait till San Francisco lets me check the spot there. That's definitely third in line of the ones I'm confident about. He doesn't want to walk back in the dark by himself.
I think they pushed back the dig dates for that, didn't they?
So,
yeah, they pushed back.
Like I said, I've got a lot of cool anagrams to San Francisco. It's honoring the San Francisco touchdown, so it's honoring the 49ers. It's 49 feet. I don't know. I can't wait. But they pushed it back. It may be another year.
Yeah.
Linda
Sunday,
just posted it.
Or Simon.
I'll tell you the cities I cheated on. I cheated on Charleston, St. Augustine. Of course, I was already in Charleston. I definitely cheated on New Orleans. Pretty sure that at that point you know, my spot's different than Carly. Like I'm in Carly Paralysis, Hunter's Field. I really think that one's right. A lot of anagrams for that one. But I know I was on the anagrams and atomic elements then because like that one is 333 feet. So that's 1.5 times 222. So, and then that one ends in some sort of triangle, but the lights there are weird distances apart. But he's in a different spot. He's using some different lights. Who knows? But that is a rough part of town, and I am not going there. That Hunter's Field, that is not a place you go check out unless you know somebody.
There was a weird comment, and I feel I should point out that Brando says he cheated on his wife, and that's nice.
Oh gosh.
I don't know why I said that. I'm assuming I'm missing a joke, but whatever. Brando's a dick.
Well, maybe
Or
his
maybe
wife is the place he thinks the cask is.
Maybe she's a dick. Maybe she has
I don't know. Who knows? It's
I
possible.
just, if ever I'm right about Montreal, then Arthur is going to have to carve a figurine of the three bears, and I feel bad.
If you're going to get anything done at a school, like
They
the
do have a
students-
newspaper there, and then I think Gabby had pointed. So if you could get someone there, you definitely could get some momentum going because it's definitely in Montreal. Like,
Yeah.
it's in
And I mean,
Montreal. So
even
is
if
it
it's
at
not in the
McGill?
school, even if it's not in the school, they'd be interested. That's cool. That's a good idea. We should track some of
You
these.
just have to you just got to get some interest because no one knows about the secret there. No one knows it.
Yeah.
You
Well,
just
somebody
need it.
does one by Ubisoft Montreal. Was the game? Yeah, you didn't know that?
I've not heard this.
There's like a letter. It's really early on in Assassin's Creed Valhalla is the name of the game. You stumble upon these letters throughout the games that people have written. They're like ancient texts, and there's one about a guy. It's a response for permission to dig for a treasure.
No.
And it's like it's perfect. I sent it to Kit. I'll find it and I'll send it to him.
Okay.
It's perfect. It's obviously directly related to the secret.
That's pretty funny.
And coming from Ubisoft. Yeah. So somebody knows, but like getting the students involved is a great idea. Because like even if the school's not going to give you permission, the students will probably do it anyway.
Yeah. There was a guy that was in the group, but he's kind of dropped out of it now, and he doesn't want people to contact him, so I'm not going to say his name. But he worked there, and I tried to convince him that, but no luck. So I don't know. One day it might happen. It'll take something like what you're talking about with getting the students involved.
Chris Woodford asked a question, and I know that you and I made an agreement that we wouldn't really talk about the anagrams that much. So I'm going to ask this question. I'm going to leave it up to you if you want to answer it now or if you want to answer it later, if you want to completely skip over. I know it's something that you've thought about, so I feel like I could ask it. Chris asked, has anyone tried to make a puzzle where the solution is this kind of anagram? If we put ourselves into the puzzle maker's shoes, do we think Byron could have reasonably created something so complex? Because it's really complex, the ideas that you put forth. So have you thought about them from sort of Byron's perspective? And
I realized quickly that the back of the book, the only thing that I will even now say that's an anagram is the name of the fairy and the Latin name. Sometimes, but there's some I can't anagram. I just can't figure them out. But I've got so many good ones, but they're only from the name of the fairy. So if they had, there's all these theories that they had already written the back of the book. Okay, great. That works great with my theory. But what if they didn't title the name of the fairy yet? What if Byron put that there?
That's a good
What if
point.
that's the only thing he added was the name of the fairy? Because that's the only thing that I can make good anagrams from. Sometimes you combine both, like I did today, and you get a good anagram. So that's okay, because there's not a lot in the stories. There's some references. Carly's the expert on how they relate to things. I'm just looking for anagrams now. That's about all I focus on, is seeing if I'm looking for a hint. Is there something hidden? Could they have done this? I think they started simple. Like if you saw my NC simple roots, they started with something. something small, and they said, well, you can't. From there, they could have built on something. Do I think there's a key? Yes. I just don't know what it is. I mean, we need more cities found to know for sure. I mean, there's no way to know. I'm just looking at possibilities, because the frustrating part of this is everyone guessing, or everyone, oh, this is a thing, or this is a thing. And I'm like, now I'm to the point, if it does an anagram, I don't look there. You know, like I got anagrams to Astoria Park, but I mean, even Astoria doesn't make sense. Like, there's not a lion, there's not the three bears, there's not these sculptures. It's a light pole, and maybe one of the supports of Hellgate Bridge. Like those are just really random objects to pick. So I just don't get it. If that's how they did it, I don't understand how they picked a spot. But I absolutely 100% believe in the anagrams that I put out. They may not be right. I mean, there's so many that they don't make sense.
There's something that you pointed out that was important, and I think people should do well. You were right in that no matter what we know or don't know about the back of the book, like we don't know if Byron wrote the back of the book, but we do know he wrote certain parts of it. We know like the scientific names he probably had a hand in, which means he probably had a name. He wrote that. So as far as I'm concerned, hints in the back of the book.
I haven't, because some of those descriptions are massively long. So like the one today that I posted, the periodic table, you can get another anagram out of that. I was working on that for Boston, Mass. And I like Mass because Massachusetts and the mass of element. So you can abbreviate it Boston, Mass. And you can get that, and I can get some really cool words out of it. And then I'm searching through, and all of a sudden I saw periodic. And I stopped. I'm like, just seeing the one word, periodic. Saw periodic, so I'm like, I got a TABLE. I've got the word atom. I've got RN. I'm like, because I have been dying to prove that Radon 222 is definitely a link to the puzzle at McGill. And so I had that anagram in less than 60 seconds once I saw that one word. So sometimes you put a lot of work into it, and then I just quickly turn and go a different direction. I think there's hidden stuff in the book. The text and they're just too long. Yeah. They're way too long to know where you're going with that.
There's got to be a program. There's got to be a program out there for anagrams. I swear that me and Brett used one for a puzzle.
Combinations, and those are really neat because some of them are pre-built. So I will use a different one sometimes when I'm kind of stuck on one. But the one generic one, I like it the best because some of this is code. Like, and I'll put a key like OD is opposite direction, and Leo is lion obviously, and I'll put all these different ones. And L is 50, a laminated copy of the periodic table, and like, do any of these distances make sense? Yeah. So when you add them up, does it add up to something that is your theory? Because if your theory's wrong, I mean, nothing's going to make sense anyway. And I have found just so many for my two. Montreal and Milwaukee. It's 67 feet from the Three Bears. There's the 67 in the image. And when you stand at that spot, I had the guy that works at McGill. It's at least worth a probe. It's just, will someone get over there and check it? I don't know. That'd be cool. I can't wait.
Steven Chat says you should hit up the archaeology department at McGill as well. That's probably a good idea.
Now, this is interesting. Houston, Texas Dave says, for Montreal, are you considering that an anagram could be in French?
Oh God,
I am not. And I don't. And I took 4 years of French, but it was not to learn French.
Oh.
I took 2 years of French. I remember two words. I remember pourquoi, which I think means why, and I remember fatoya, which I think means footstool.
The only thing I know in French is crêpe fromage, s'il vous plaît.
Something different, because obviously no one does what I do. They're just possibilities. They're just, it might be here, and of course I'm biased. I always post the ones that work out really well for my theories.
Steve has asked a question a couple of times, and then he just private messaged me. the question. So I'm guessing he really wants to ask this question.
Okay.
It's
Shoot.
but really worked on 3 solved ones, right?
So I have, it worked really good for Boston. There's anagrams to that. I think I did 2 different ones where I try to anagram every line.
Yeah.
They're not always good. There's always a few.
Right. So you're really looking for what's good, and you can discard what's bad.
Yeah. I anagram every line just to see if I can make every line at least make a little bit of. I don't know if you saw that post. It was, Cleveland is Cl. The element 17 is chlorine. 17.
I do
and
know.
Ohio is, and Ohio is the 17th state.
Okay.
Cl 17. So if you substitute Ohio OH, it was more talking about. It didn't talk about. I couldn't find anything that said Greek cultural gardens I didn't find much of that. I hadn't read that post in forever. I have to go back and every line.
Every line?
Every single line of the verse, what's the one as you walk the beating of the world, I think anagrams to Germania building, C2 lion's feet, something like that.
It's easy to get lost in possibilities, but have you ever tried to do it in reverse? Have you ever tried to take legible information or legible instructions for somebody and turn it into a sentence that makes sense to use in a puzzle? A sentence where you wouldn't absolutely, because what you're describing with every line being an anagram is damn near impossible. Because
I'm the only one that's apparently capable of doing it.
All right, that would be a challenge.
In the next week, I'll see if I can't come up with something.
All right, cool.
Then you guess what it is, and the verse will make sense to some. I'll see if I can at least do 4 or 5 lines to where it's like, at least, I'll see what I can do.
Because I remember Brett did a puzzle like that once where he only had to anagram. It was probably like 10 letters, and it was near impossible for him to figure out a way to write it in plain text to where you couldn't look at it and automatically go, "This is an anagram."
You can easily do it in reverse. You put what you want, and then do that same anagram solver that I use, and now just pick out words that,
Yeah, but you got to make it.
I'll see if I can do it.
I mean, I'm saying stuff like, lane 222. You'll see an arc of lights, weights and roots. You see what I'm saying? It's got to make sense, and you can look at those verses and not automatically, like when we look at some of the anagrams that you post. Sometimes they don't make a whole lot of sense without explanation.
No, they don't. Some of them are really bad.
But you have to reverse that. You have to make them make total sense. If that makes sense. It's really difficult to explain what I'm trying to say without saying the word sense a lot.
I think what he's trying to say is, so let's solution, but I don't want you to read it and go, well, this doesn't look like it's natural. There's something very obvious about this text. This is probably an anagram. Doing that, especially in a 12-line verse over and over again, is really.
So anyway, Chris said that was what he was trying to ask as well. But yeah, it'd be cool to see.
From the left, underneath the secret, what the answer is.
Well, do exactly that.
You'll find
do exactly that.
A leg eater, and then you give that to me, and I'll see if I can't somehow. Now I'll need. Exact distances, because I'm going to throw in it's exactly.
Oh, dude, you're making this way harder on yourself. There's I don't know. There's a pin. There's a pin on my bookshelf. How many books did I say? I don't know. Make up some shit. And if anybody if once you post it, if it makes sense, if anybody can figure it out, we'll give them a pen.
I've got nothing of quality.
I'm under no time limit.
Okay, I haven't had dinner.
I've been margaritaed.
Bradley.
I did not. And I've been to New York meetup. Y'all have fun.
You should totally come.
I can't.
Are there New York things we need to add? Oh, you have to have a vaccine card.
Yes, New York is requiring for all indoor activities to have a proof of vaccination.
Yeah.
During the event.
I got my vaccine, and they still.
Yeah.
And now they make us wear the mask anyway at work, so that is totally analyzed. I think even Andrew Cullen has looked at how many letters have occurred this many times versus the number of times and certain ones, they don't occur very often at all.
Chris just posted some. He posted.
So those
but
would be the emails from it.
that's a good way, like, to just. It's something that most people who work on The Secret wouldn't consider, but that's a really good way to figure out if there's a code in something. You run the frequency analysis for the letters, and it should match up pretty closely to like a normal frequency. And if it doesn't, there's a code there.
If it doesn't, then there's something hiding. Yeah. And if you look on those breaking cipher pages, they'll tell you that if there's certain letters that appear non-normal like this, then that means that it's not a random set of letters. There's something there.
Yeah. Matt Sparks says he has one.
Nice.
Matt Sparks has everything. He's had 80 years to work on The Secret. 82 years. He has it all.
Hey, I just also
my wife says I've been doing this. She says I've been doing this for 3 or 4 years now, and it's been a year.
To Alan Thomason and the rest of the community that reached out to everybody else in the community to offer help during Ida.
Okay, I understand now.
Yeah, so thank you very, very much. This community is
Nobody took me up on it. You could have stayed in the gym. I have a full house.
I was like, Texarkana sounds great.
With a full house, let's do this.
Didn't you guys? There was some weird mystery in Texarkana for a while, wasn't there? And some dude like get you. Right.
But thank you. To you and to the rest of the community for taking care of each other.
That was a legit offer. I wish somebody had taken me up on it.
Oh, yeah, because the people who stayed there, they couldn't leave at that point. Like it was.
Yeah,
nuts.
Unfortunately, a lot of the community members that didn't.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. And what?
All right. Well, we'll have to upload it, and then Cole May had a video he wanted me to add, so I'll add it right here.